Going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Hooray! We are live. Hello, my post-it note's just fallen off. I've got a post-it note on my screen because there's a one word I keep forgetting, and I might need it today. Yeah, that's not going to stay. I'll put it on there. Hello and welcome to this week's Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Obviously, last week was a little bit different. I had a bit of a takeover, so it was just me and a few of my friends. Not the Green Umbrella team, but so this week we made up for it. We've got the full complement here. We're all here this week, but apart from Kim, although I'm sure Kim is there in the comments as well, recording it all, taking all the notes, ready for adding it onto YouTube and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're live on my LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on the Green Umbrella Facebook page. And hopefully this is going to be one of those more sane weeks where we talk marketing, some tips and some strategy and some guidance, and let you know, let you know what the trends are that we're seeing and all that kind of thing. Do you know what? The last 3-4 weeks, it's felt like there's not been tons of very exciting news in the social media world. There's been a few updates, but nothing that kind of, really gets your blood boiling or your, shouting from mountaintops or anything like that. But I feel like there's been a bit more going on this week. Have you guys been finding that?
Yeah, definitely. A few more updates, features, those kind of things.
Yep. I feel like I haven't seen anything. I was looking and I was like, what is going on?
You've been quite poorly, haven't you?
Yeah, maybe I've just not been with the world. Maybe I'm looking at last week's news or something. I do feel like I'm a week behind, but yeah.
If you come out with MySpace has been launched, then we know.
I think this is why it's so important that we do this. But yes, for the people that tune in, but also for ourselves, because actually sometimes when you miss just 1 week's worth of news in our world can completely throw you and feel like actually I don't know what I know and what I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
So it's great. I always find that when I come back, if I have a week's holiday, we all know I don't do holidays, but if I go I'm going to have a week away and digital detox, when I come back I feel really, really lost because there's been so much chatter in that time. So what are we going to chat about today? Who wants to go first?
News.
Mark, you can go first. You said you haven't got a lot, so let's make you. I don't want to get to you and be like, oh, it's all been said already.
Yeah, that's it. No, everyone else go first. Couple of bits. Bit of a Google one. Google has updated its search on desktop slightly. I'd sort of noticed it, but it's quite subtle. It's not, to me, it's not an over sort of big change or anything like that. So basically, I've did some searches just to have a look at it this morning. So basically, now you can see favicons and also the actual site name that's been submitted through the metadata as well. So it's not just the title of the page, you're actually getting the title of the site and the favicon, so that there's a bit more of a visual sort of reference to what each search result is.
But just because favicon's our language.
Okay, the little icon. So little visual icon.
Thanks.
Well, I thought you were going to show something. I thought you were.
No. Do you know what it is? I've made me matcha, but it's like I've run out of oat milk, and I'm trying to cut out dairy at the minute because it doesn't make me feel very nice, and but it needs a lot of stirring. Otherwise, it gets to the bottom and it's all like powder.
Anyway,
I like it. But yeah, favicons.
Back to favicons. So it's normally just a little version of your logo, basically, that sits in sort of your... so obviously I'm looking at StreamYard at the minute, so I can see the little StreamYard duck on Chrome. So if you're on a tab on Chrome, you can normally see that favicon, but now they're actually coming up in the Google search as well. So it only comes up in actual searches. If it's a Google map search, it's not coming up in there. And then the other thing they've done is just, again, they've slightly changed the layout if it's a sponsored listing. So there's a sort of bold sponsored above the listing now, which is again trying to differentiate between the different types of sort of search results, really. So it's quite subtle, but I suppose it's quite useful. I mean, just sort of scrolling down, you can see obviously I just did a couple of searches just to see what it was doing, and yeah, it looks probably a bit better and just helps you sort of visually know what you're looking at. I suppose that's the theory behind it.
So other than making sure that you have got a favicon set for your website, is there anything else people should be doing? Is it like just keeping URLs tidy, page titles tidy?
It's not to do well. Obviously the page URLs, etc., and page titles will come up, but it's actually the website title that's going to come up as well. So in the back of WordPress, we've got an area to do that. So I'm just trying to find one of our listings just to double check. Yeah, so like our site title is Green Umbrella Marketing. So it's usually going to be the company name, couple of others there, whether they've done it deliberately or just haven't actually changed that name, is just their website URL. So that would suggest they haven't actually set a name and it is just picking up the URL, and that's what Google's assigned to it. So again, if you've got that opportunity to do that in the back end of the website, you can at least either put your company name, or if you've got a decent character length, you can probably experiment with a bit of sort of descriptive thing as well. I don't know, didn't say in the article what sort of length of characters and words you can have on that, so we'll have to have a bit of an experiment probably with that one.
Cool.
But yeah, that was a bit of a Google one. And then I don't know whether any of you guys, well, obviously we mentioned it before we came on, but there's obviously been a lot of TikTok talk about security. Obviously not being a particular TikTok user, I did log in the other day and logged that straight out again. But
not their demographic, Mark, no?
No, I don't think so, no. It just annoys me. It's just scrolling through crap, basically.
I find TikTok quite messy as well. Do you find that, like the visual of it?
Sometimes, yeah.
On the page where it says like, oh, someone so and so viewed your profile, or like you got this like, it looks a mess.
And they're like never very recent. Do you know what I mean? Like the notifications are always like months old, and I'm like, come on, catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the thing. Yeah, obviously, yeah, that's probably a different thing. But yeah, it was more about security anyway. And obviously, there's been a lot of things around about various governments around the world sort of banning TikTok, maybe in general. I think there was some laws trying to be brought in the States where they could physically ban it. But then obviously employee access for government sort of employees has been restricted. Certainly in Europe, I think maybe is it EU, employees are not allowed to have it on their phones or something.
Yeah, so US and EU. And then there was about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, I saw an article saying that because it was like once it happened in the EU, are the UK going to do it? So that for about a week, that was the rhetoric. And then I've been using the word rhetoric a lot recently. I don't know why. And then, like I said, literally about a week ago, I saw an article saying that our mate Rishi has said that basically the UK government were not going to implement a ban. They weren't going to follow the EU with that. Whereas I think, that, like I said, the conversation previously was that everyone thought that they would.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't seen anything more to update it though. So yeah, if there's been more movement on that, I've seen articles, I haven't read them.
Yeah, I mean, basically what they're doing, TikTok, they're opening or reveal plans for 2 new data centers, which are going to cost over £1 billion, and one's going to be in Dublin, and one in Norway. So they're going to service the that tea nice, is it?
Oh, it's right. This is why I have to keep stirring it. It's really good for you, though.
So yeah, they're trying to allay security fears in Europe, but I don't think it's going to solve your tea problem.
Maybe you can find a hack on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice on. It's nice with oat milk. No, it's bearable with oat milk.
I feel like oat milk has just taken over the world.
I prefer it to almond milk.
Again, run demographic.
Yeah.
I have tried it. It's all right, actually. It's not bad in
It's
coffee.
nice. It adds a little nutty taste, doesn't it?
I agree. Horrible in tea, though. It's too creamy for tea.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, Jane, when I first said, "Oh, guys, I'm trying oat milk."
I can't believe we're having a conversation about oat milk on live lunch, but apart from that.
Okay, yeah, that was the mouthful I had then was not nice. We keep stirring. Okay, right. So, yeah, I mean, what do you like? How do we feel about the whole TikTok banning stuff? Like, are we? Although I'm not going to say where you guys know where I was yesterday morning. Well, Nicole doesn't, but the other three do. So that's where I was, but I'm not going to say out loud where I was. And there was someone else there, and you overhear a conversation sometimes in a public place. And there was on Saturday there was a sonic boom in this area,
Yeah.
And they were talking about the sonic boom and what they thought it was at the time. And one of them goes, "Well, I thought it was the Russians."
Oh my God.
So I'm like, I mean, do we really think? Like, do I think the Chinese are tracking me through my TikTok usage? Do we
They're
really?
welcome to my TikTok data.
I'm like, don't get me
feel
wrong.
like-
I realize how it works with the networking and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like,
I feel like they've been in our phones for years, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna anything they've got to learn. They've learned by now, surely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And we're
Like-
choosing to be on it and put stuff out there. So it's like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it's sort of tracked.
Everything's
not-
tracked,
sorry.
though, isn't it? Like,
Probably, yeah. But it's not so much the videos, is it? It's that they can see data on your phone and how you use your phone as well. It's not just about what you put on TikTok. It's what they can get out of your phone that's the problem. But yeah, they'll have got it already if they want it, won't they?
yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, and like we're clearly, I'm not saying that we're boring, but if there was anything interesting, it would be a different story.
There's just been a comment from Chinese intelligence on Facebook.
We are watching you.
I think if they were going to track my phone, I wouldn't really be bothered because I'm like, there's nothing really exciting on there.
Good point.
Do you know what? I've just upgraded my phone and nothing is working anywhere properly. So they get double bubble from me right now. I'm going like between the Mac at work, my MacBook, the new phone, the old phone, the iPad. I'm like, I've got like nothing is ever like I don't have this thing on Voice anymore. It's like online banking is the worst. I can only get it into one place in one place, and if I want to change my password so I can get it everywhere else, I have to log out to do it. That makes no sense because I won't be able to get back in again. I won't have access to it at all.
Oh, yeah. Weird.
Anyway, in other words, Molly, what you got?
So I've got a Facebook contributions feature for groups. So when members take on a role or get reactions and comments within a group, they're going to start earning points. And then the top 10% of people with the highest points will earn a badge. Which I wasn't too sure about this. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's good for like credibility. Like if you're an expert in your field and you've got this badge because people are engaging in what you're talking about, that's fine. But I don't know. What do you guys think about getting a badge?
So if it's a community group, it depends on the purpose of the group, right? So recruiting brain food, people would want a badge in that group because they're showing as being contributors to the group, and it's like it's an industry peer group. And then we have things that are like, so I did some training on Monday for Peak's private members club. which is a private membership for people in business, essentially. It used to be just women, but they've now opened it up to men as well. In that group, it's all about being social. So it's kind of like being the influencers within that group if you're in the top 10, I guess. There's purpose to it there. But I think it's quite an individual thing. So we get little, like you're awarded the little badge of conversation starter or, things like that in a group, visual storyteller or something like that, which I think can be quite nice. But yeah, when it's like, I think it just depends what the badge is.
Yeah. And does the badge display on like your profile? Is that what it does, or does it display next to the post? Like, how do people know?
The ones we've got at the minute are quite subtle, and they're just next to your name. What they've been talking about is something that's a bit more prominent in the groups. So yeah, so we'll see. And I don't know how much control admins will have over it as well.
Because that's what I was thinking. Like,
yeah,
surely the admin is going to be the person putting the most in there. So surely they're automatically going to.
Well, you'd think, but it's not always the case. And really, to be fair, a group that runs well is not just one person posting all. It's not just the admin posting all the time. It would be a mixture of people from the community. So I think it allows you to then celebrate your top contributor for the week and that kind of thing. But the danger is when it starts to be, it's like the same 10 people all of the time. So yeah, Kim, this is Facebook we're talking about, Facebook groups. Kim's just put on Facebook.
But yeah, and then my second one is about Spotify. So Spotify are completely revamping the app, and it's going to have like a TikTok style. So it's going to have a discovery feed and adding smart shuffle to build users' playlists based on their algorithm. So if you're skipping a song, it's going to pick up on those kind of things and start to build a playlist for you, which I thought it already sort of did.
I was going to say, is this like because I don't use Spotify, I use Apple Music. So is that like the I have
your
like a
station?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then they're also going to start adding a story feature like Instagram to show your friends on the app what you're listening to, what artists you're liking, those kind of things. So it's really taking on like a social media like app perspective rather than just being a music app at the moment. And then the third thing they're bringing in is Spotify clips. So if you're listening to an artist, there's going to be some visuals where you can tap through to see more information about them, their story, and upcoming events and things like that. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting, giving like artists a bit more of a platform.
When you say that, you have to say artists.
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 Why?
You know, Nicole, I thought you were cool.
Well, thanks. Take that as a compliment, to be honest.
So yeah, I don't use Spotify, so I don't. But it feels like everyone uses Spotify apart from me. And maybe
I don't. I'm on Apple Music.
Yeah, Apple Music.
Wow, I'm a Spotify girl.
The two bottom ones, Spotify.
The two youngsters.
I've heard a lot about like something with Apple Music that I'm really jealous of that you can't use in Spotify. Correct me if I'm wrong, Molly. Is you can take away like the vocals from like songs and just listen to like the background track of a song.
You can karaoke with it.
Yeah, it's kind of a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you get all the lyrics and karaoke and stuff on Apple Music.
Oh, Nicole, next time you're in the office, we'll have a little play. Bit social for us.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Nicole, you and I can have a sing-song again.
What would be our
it's not on live lunch.
Not on live lunch.
Maybe one day, who knows?
What would be our go-to song, Christina? Because this is...
Well, it's got to be show tune.
Gold.
Molly's
It'll be gold again.
Oh, gold. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, man. Cool. Okay, fab. Right, Spotify. That's interesting because Spotify have... mean, they haven't pushed into social, but they've done a few things over the years to make themselves more social media friendly, like the ways, like being able to share songs and that kind of stuff, haven't they? So yeah, interesting move. Really
Definitely.
interesting. Cool. Nicole, what have you got?
Well, as I said, probably not much, and who knows if it's old news at this point. So I'm just here for the experience, to see your lovely faces, and probably just learn, because I didn't even know half these things were happening. But anyway, Twitter has announced a 10,000k character long tweet form now, or they're sort of planning it.
Yes.
What?
Yes,
Why?
Jane will tell you. I probably have a rant about Twitter once a week, because it's like I need an extra like 6 characters, and I'm like, it just takes away the meaning of the tweet. I think 10,000 is a bit much, but an extra few.
It's 6 extra characters. It's 10,000 character tweet.
An extra few would be very nice, but yeah. Sorry,
but you've got to pay anyway, haven't you? You've got to go on Twitter Blue to get them. So.
Jane, you mentioned this last month, and it was like 4,000 characters, and now they've gone and boosted it up to 10.
Yeah.
So years ago, they did talk about doing that, and everyone was like, "Seriously, are you sure? Are you okay, mate?" And that's when they essentially doubled it to what we have.
Got to share this comment. Sorry. Sorry, Nicole.
The thing is, I'm not going to complain if like I can have more characters like Molly, but 10,000 is a bit extreme.
Yeah, don't need 10,000. Just
can
an
you
extra
imagine
6.
that can take up the whole feed?
Yeah.
That's it. And the thing is, guaranteed there'll be the read more. So people only you only really need to use the first sentence or 2 anyway. No one's going to read the rest.
Yeah.
I think it's unnecessary.
But if it's only Twitter Blue, how many people are going to actually use it anyway?
Yeah. Don't you have a Twitter Blue account, Mark?
Huh?
Don't you
have I got a Twitter Blue? No. But I was going to say though, is there any figures for how? I doubt it, but how many people have actually taken up Twitter Blue?
No.
We'll get them for next week, everyone.
Not that I've seen that I think are believable.
Oh,
you know when you think like you go back to like secondary school history, and you had talked about primary sources and secondary sources and all that kind of stuff. It's like I just don't believe what I'm seeing. You know.
Tweet Elon, see what he says.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a response.
Because he's probably the only employee left now anyway.
Although, did you see Meta's announced their, I think, another 10,000 jobs?
Yeah.
Going?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all these like AI machines, don't really need them.
That's it. Just building another bot. That's true. Another bot.
It was just interesting though when you say about employees, because I just when we were talking about Spotify, I just googled to see who still owns Spotify, and it's still the original people, but they've got over 10,000 employees, and now Twitter, which surely has a much larger user base, only has like 2,000 employees. So how are they servicing it or developing it? It's just surely gonna.
It's just Elon getting his Cody code on, isn't it?
Yeah. Perhaps he is going to rewrite it with ChatGPT. He just keeps asking it questions. Should I do this? And the answers is getting back.
Oh my god! Have you seen those things? Like, I've seen loads of videos about how you can have a little like AI friend on your phone, and you'll just say, "What should I have for breakfast today?" And it gives you the answer. Like, it's like, have a croissant, have a continental breakfast, or go and get a full English. And it just tells you what to do. Like, if you're lost, you're like, should I go for a walk today?
You do realise you've just been WhatsApping Molly, and it's her that's been responding. She's not AI, she's real.
It's like a bit of a trend at the moment. People are like using it and saying, I'm going to let AI run my day today. And I'm just like, it is just a little sort of avatar on your phone that sort of tells you what to do.
I am actually. I've got some stuff going on at the minute. Maybe I should try that.
Yeah, if you're like sort of an indecisive person, it might be quite good for you. But
Find out what the app is, Nicole, and send it to me. I'll give it a go.
yeah, I'll get the video. I've been saving them. There we go. That's my little contribution today. The layout avatar for your phone, telling you what to do.
Amazing. Okay, let's because before I actually literally start downloading the app now, Jane, let's come to you.
I've got a couple of Twitter ones as well, actually. So they are doing something. So they are improving their direct messages, basically to have full encryption on them now, which is something Meta have done a while ago with DMs, but Twitter are doing it as well. And they're also allowing you to reply to individual DMs that are in a chain. And also you can now react with any emoji instead of just the 7 presets that you had before. So, I mean, personally, I don't really message people directly in Twitter. So it's not something I've used much or I'm going to use much. But yeah, it's probably quite handy. If you
I like that. Because I do find that it's really irritating. Like, not that I use Twitter a lot for messaging or anything, but it would be good to sort of reply to a certain message. Do you know what I mean? When you're talking about a bunch of different things. Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, useful. And then the other Twitter one is that they're archiving their live stream things from Periscope. So if you have anything left in Twitter that you live streamed in there, basically they're going to delete it all because they're trying to save money. So you can download it out of there, but it's just worth knowing. And a lot of people say if you've got audio in there from Spaces, that you're probably wise downloading that as well, just in case, because that might be next to be cut. Basically, Elon's got no room left in his house to put all these things.
What actual features is Twitter going to have at this point?
Yeah, I don't know.
10,000 character tweets.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
Written by AI.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm really not sure whether Twitter's still going to be here in 12 months' time.
I agree.
You think?
It's just I just with all this stuff going on, like no one is. I think so. Last time I saw advertising revenues on Twitter, which is obviously one of their main income streams, had dropped massively, and I haven't seen anything about those increasing. The cut in, the cuts in terms of workforce. Elon and he, that. If you think about the stuff that he's done in the past, AI is going to become a big part of what drives Twitter. I just all the persons leaving it, or all the human is going out of it, and it wasn't a particularly human platform in the first place. It became very much a broadcast platform. It became quite soulless, and I'm just that's where I think it's going to go. I think it's where it's going to continue. Tweets are indexed by Google for now. How long before that gets cut as well? At that point, I think a lot of the people that are using it for that purpose. At that point, would you keep going into a shop that's got nothing on the shelves?
No, you wouldn't.
And if they shut the door, you're definitely not going to try going in there. And that's kind of like, just feels where it's headed. Yeah. I just noticed
paid to go in.
My jumper and Nicole's nails are quite matchy.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Okay. Christina's Twitter predictions. So Kim thinks I should write a blog on my Twitter predictions. Elon might sue me, Kim. Like they're not all out of a job then. Okay, so what have I got? I've got I had a rant yesterday. You know what? There were 3 things, but I only actually wrote down one of them. And I can't remember what the other 2 things. Because whilst we were talking, I was asked today, do I know someone that can speak on SEO? And I was really struggling to think of someone that is someone that is like a really good speaker for this event. And then we were talking about, are there any female SEO speakers? And I was like, I can't think of anybody. I can't even think of anyone in SEO that's female that I know. And then I just thought of someone. And I'm like, oh my God, how did I not think about that person before? It's really distracted me. But the reason I've thought about that person and here at this moment is here's the link. Obviously, International Women's Day yesterday. No, Nicole, no. So,
ladies.
I know I've had this conversation on Live Lunch in previous years. I think there was one year, where maybe it was in 2021, it actually fell on the same day as, it fell on the Thursday, so we were talking about it. No, and it's just another bandwagonitis thing. So if you are really pushing women, a representation of women, gender pay gaps, like you're making sure you're ticking all the boxes, brilliant, freaking take the day to celebrate it. Don't celebrate the women, celebrate what you're doing to help women and why women should be helped. Just going, yay, women. I'm like, whatever. Or tell some stories of women to raise awareness for issues that affect women. But just going, yay, women. Like, I mean, hopefully, all of you, Mark as well, but certainly, my three lovely ladies on this call, I appreciate, you don't need a special day for me to go, oh, I appreciate you. Here, have some chocolate, have some flowers, or like, here's a sandwich for your lunch, whatever it might be. It's like, I'm like, that's what should be happening all day, every day in your business. Not that I should be giving you flowers every day in the business, but it's.
I was going to say, where am I?
You know what I mean? But there's not, like, when you look at these things, we've got to think, like, how are we going to use them? Not just use the hashtag because it'll get us, I don't tweet along to Dragon's Den just so I get a bunch of followers. But I could do. But it's like, it's what do you actually want to achieve, right? So, like, how do we use these in the right way, for the right reasons, in alignment with our values? That's the rant over. But the funny thing was, we were talking about this yesterday when I was like, that was just like a little toned down rant because I got a lot of it out of my system yesterday. When I was proper ranting about it yesterday and recorded my video in the office, Jane, we were talking about the Twitter account that had been picking up the hashtag and then retweeting the differences with so a company saying we really support women, and then this bot essentially retweets and says, this is the difference in pay between genders. This is the representation in that business. So I was looking at that first thing this morning. It's really funny, some of the stuff that came through. So this is the other thing. If you're going to use this stuff, make sure you're not in a situation where you're going to get bloody caught out for it not being. Although there is a bit of a obviously some companies have to report gender pay gaps and representation and that kind of thing, but it's not always the case that you might be in a business that is construction, for example, is still as an industry massively underrepresented when it comes to women in the workforce. So then you've got quite a big company that's already struggling in that sense. Whereas, so if you compare them with a workforce that is, let's say, nursing, for example, where, we would consider, I don't know what the stats are, but I would consider nursing to still be quite a female dominant industry. So, like, things are not comparable anyway. It's tricky, isn't it? Like, even when you look at data, there's one company that I know that I saw the information on and I was like, oh dear. But then I thought, actually, the business they're in, the sector they're in, the size of the business, the countries that they're active in, and the cultures within those countries, of course it's male dominated. And it's not even you kind of say board table men and the admin staff are all women. It's like, actually, knowing the way that business is on a global scale, they're operating in countries where women are still very much living in a culture that is not one that we exist in. Let's put it that way. I'm not talking about this now. Am I boring everyone?
No, you raised some good points.
It's like a lot of these things. There's always so many angles and so many facets to them that it's tricky, isn't it?
It really is. And then the other thing I was going to say is I need to sort my notifications out. They're coming up everywhere on all these devices as well. It's like it's overwhelming. The other thing I was going to say is, do you remember talking a little while ago about collaborative articles on LinkedIn?
Oh yeah.
You all disappeared off my screen then. I thought I'd completely lost the whole feed. That was scary for a second. I'm back. I'm with you. I was like, where's it all gone? Did you see panic on my face for a second? I was like,
not really, no.
Collected.
Yes, so collaborative articles on LinkedIn. Do you remember us talking about those?
Mm-hmm.
So I've started seeing them this week, and I've been asked to contribute on some in the in one of the basically LinkedIn have released some articles, and I've been asked to collaborate on some of those. Kim's just put someone check her tea. I don't understand, Kim. What are you suggesting? So it's an interesting. Basically, what they've done is that there are articles that are written by AI. So the article itself is already written, and then contributors or collaborators, I should say, are being asked to add their 2 pence to the article.
Were the articles your kind of cup of tea? Do you know what I mean? As in, like, what the articles that they were asking for your opinion?
Yeah, they were actually quite good. They were quite good, and I think as a collaborator, they give you quite a few points that you can pick up on. So there's a couple that I've done already. It works in a similar way too. Let's say I'd seen the article and I wanted to leave a comment underneath it. Essentially, that's what I'm doing, but the comment appears within the article instead. So I did a couple on Sunday, and I have had quite a few, connection requests and that kind of stuff since that are based on who they are, the jobs they're doing, countries they're based in. I believe it's off the back of that activity. So like how it gets triggered, I don't know. I know not everyone. You have to be invited to cover it. Yeah, not okay. So to answer Kim's question, which I was trying to bring up on screen and isn't working. I think my signal is maybe not quite with us today. A bit like me. Do you have to invite to collaborate? Do you know what? There's not an invitation. It's weird. I got a notification in LinkedIn for this article. The way it was worded was a little bit different. So when I clicked through to it, it's like, you've been invited as a collaborator. And in fact, it didn't even say that. There was just this bit at the top that made it clear I was considered a collaborator. And then when I looked into what that meant, that's when it was like, actually, there's only so many people who've been asked to do this.
Because I saw it on a client's account, and it was quite vague. It was like, contribute on this article, and it was only because you'd spoken to me about it that I was like, oh, like they've been invited to get involved. But if you read it, you wouldn't think it was anything special. You wouldn't think like you'd personally been asked. It was just like, oh, contribute on this article. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at it on screen now. It says, help unlock community knowledge with us. Add your insights into this AI-powered collaborative article. This is a new type of article that we started with the help of AI, but it isn't complete without insights from experts like you. Share your thoughts directly into each section. You're in a select group of experts that has access to do so. And then, like I said, when you sort of dig into that and you kind of go, okay, what does that actually mean? How have people been chosen? That kind of thing. There really isn't much of an answer. So, other than you've either been granted the ability to contribute or you haven't. That's it, basically. And it's this, you can add a community top voice badge if members find you to be one of the most insightful contributors to the collaborative articles. So, you know, being a top voice on LinkedIn is something that's quite tricky to achieve. There's normally they'll run campaigns and they'll have application processes and that sort of stuff if you want to take part in that. So it's another way of being able to achieve that, which is quite interesting. I've known a couple of people that have been noted as top voices on LinkedIn, and I think it's great to be able to, you know, announce that. And I'm a contributor on, you know, Business Daily and whatever other PR things that I've got now, which are great at the time, but like me talking about them right now is probably not all that. It's like saying I won this award, I'm most influential whatever in 2006. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay. I was influential once. So interesting thing. But I think, you know, just people should keep an eye out for it, and if they've got the opportunity, use it. Because worst case, it, you know, LinkedIn will take it away, and it, you know, no harm, no foul. But I think it, like looking at these collaborative articles, I think they could be a really good way of asserting authority, building thought leadership, that kind of stuff within a specific sector. And because LinkedIn is selecting you, obviously it's selected me to collaborate on marketing related articles, content related articles. So it does seem to be matching the right people up with the right sectors and industries, rather than it being something quite random.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out. I haven't seen one yet.
The other thing, which is actually news, Facebook. So you know, Facebook and Facebook Messenger are separate apps. So they split them out about 5-6 years ago. And there's been announcements saying that there are plans to bring them back together again.
Why?
I think I know why.
Oh, Christina, you broke up.
Lost you a minute then.
I think I know why. Molly, Molly, have you got a guess? You were sat in on the training on Monday, and I said something then. I wonder if you.
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know why you do it.
So there's all this conversation about Facebook losing market share to other social media apps, and it is when you look at on a global scale, they haven't grown at the rate that they've grown in previous years, but a lot of that is because they've already got everyone, yeah. But are people actually using the app on a day-to-day basis in the same way? Obviously, you know, we're coming up to the time of year where we get new stats on that. The last few years, we've seen one-to-one messaging apps, so things like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, stuff like that, really, really increase in terms of usage, especially here in the UK, but you know, on a global scale as well. So actually, if they get rid of Messenger as a separate app, bring it back into Facebook, understanding that that's the trend right now, automatically people will still want to communicate using Facebook Messenger, but now in order to access that, they've got to come back through Facebook. And coming back through Facebook, now they're being served the ads, etc. They'll get distracted by the shiny stuff that's in there. You know what Mark's had for his tea and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a way of essentially what they did when they split it was diluted the usage. But to actually bring it all back together, I can see for Meta as a business, I can see the benefits of that big time.
As a user, though, that's really annoying. You know, because sometimes you just want to pop in, reply to something quick, and then leave, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you are getting distracted by the feed or whatever, but like you say, as Meta, that does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that were announced and outlined, but to be honest, like the rest of it was just like, yeah, whatever. But that was the one where I thought, actually, that's pretty interesting that they're making that move. So yeah, I mean, there's like I said, there's just loads of stuff. There's some stuff around Instagram as well, to be fair. Like I say, just nothing that was massively exciting. Was that one of you guys pinging then, not me?
It wasn't me, but it was really loud.
Wasn't me? Yeah, it was.
Sorry, everyone.
It's cool. It's cool. I was like,
That's when my laptop's annoying because it's connected to my phone. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when someone, well, it was really nice. My sister just said, "I hope you're having a lovely day," and that was it. I'm like, not worth pinging to your ears.
funny. Yeah, so there was other stuff in the announcement about AI and AI being used to decide what reels you get shown and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's this thing about bringing Messenger back into the main app, I think is really interesting, because like, what impact will that have? So people paying for adverts, people do sort of meta ads. Well, now there'll be more people in the app on a daily basis to see those ads, which in theory could make your ads more cost effective, because Facebook's got more people to serve them to on a daily basis. Interesting.
Just make it clean. You know what I mean? As in, just simple.
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole point of why they did it in the first place. Is it was just messy all in one place.
Do you know what's messy? Do you know what's messy? Is frigging Facebook chats, Facebook group chats. Have you seen those?
I don't.
I've had notifications on things.
Oh my God, I forgot about this about 2 weeks ago. So when you're in a Facebook group now, you have the option of basically turning on a group chat for the group, which is Facebook Messenger. But you can have as many of them as you want. So I literally, over the course of a weekend, there's one Facebook group I'm in, and I swear, like every 20 minutes, like the person that runs that group, every 20 minutes there was another ping with they thought of another chat they could start for their group. It would be like us having one and going, here's the face green umbrella Facebook group chat for Twitter, for Instagram, for Pinterest, for YouTube, for LinkedIn, for blogging, for email. No, it was like that for 48 hours. I swear, I was just like, please stop. And there's nothing in any of these chats. Nothing. I was like, yeah, I was not a fan. So Stephen on LinkedIn, there we go. He's been notified. Oh, it's not working. Oh, there it is. He got notified to set up group chats with 10 Can you imagine monitoring 10 group chats? Wow.
No
Bearing in
thanks.
mind, it's quite possible that it's quite possible that those 10 groups, that there's crossover in those audiences. You probably just have 2 groups and have them all covered. And he's just put, it's even more annoying than using the everyone tag in a group. When do we think it's okay to use the everyone tag?
Never. Or I think Facebook should change the notification. I was saying this to Jane the other day because I went on a client's Facebook page and it was like, oh, this person's mentioned you in a post. And I was like, oh, yeah, click at everyone. It should say on the notification, this person added everyone in this post, rather than clicking on every notification that said at everyone. It should just say it there and then I just clear it rather than clicking on it.
Yes. I like
because you get excited. You're like, oh yes, someone's tagged me in something. No, they haven't.
Okay, so we are about to wrap up, but something important's just popped up. Okay, that I think we should mention. So we are at the Recruitment Agency Expo in, when is it?
21st and 22nd.
21st, 22nd. And whilst we're there, so Molly, this will be your first time.
It will, yes. Very excited. Yeah.
Excellent. Last time we were there, we had a very, very detailed conversation with Mr. Stephen O'Donnell about the various ways in which he has beans on toast for his lunch. So,
I remember how he has it.
Every way. Wasn't there like a big sort of circle of
Oh,
stuff?
the circle picture.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right, Mark.
And they've
Yeah.
got to be Heinz.
Yeah.
No, no.
Because we were fighting. We were like back in the Branston.
Yeah.
Back
Or
in
even the own brand.
anything against Heinz.
Game with the own brands.
Anything is better than Heinz. They're horrible.
It's starting again, isn't it? And it's not.
Let's not go there.
This is it. So so like I said, Stephen, we will see you at the Recruitment Agency Expo, and I'm sure we will continue the conversation on all things recruitment, but also all things baked beans. So I've just seen he's put here. Oh, there is only one correct way, is what he's put on LinkedIn. I think you missed the T off, so it said here is only one correct way. I was going to say, I think as he posted a picture of his beans on toast or something. But yeah, I think it's a typo. There is only one correct way to eat beans on toast. There you go, or have beans on toast. Okay, on that note, let's wrap it up. So we are, I don't even know what the date is. So we're here next Thursday, 12 noon. Everything will be normal-ish. We'll be live on my LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I don't know, we'll be doing all sorts of things. It'll be amazing. You'll love it. Come and join us 12 noon for the Green Umbrella Live lunch. And yeah, we will see you then. Ta-da for now. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.